Right, welcome back. It's been a week of riding to work on the DRZ, and it's been a lot of fun. I've only had one dry-ish day, and with a new rear tyre, so I haven't probably been putting it through its paces quite as much. I'm still getting used to things, but it is an awful lot of fun. It really is. In terms of like trying to decide what I'm going to do with it, as I mentioned, it's going to be little bits here and there, little bits of fun. It's a fun kind of thing really, but it needs to be my daily ride, so that's going to be kind of, it's not going to get too extreme. I'm not going to chop things down too much or anything like that on it, I don't think, because I kind of need to retain a little bit of the weather protection, just to get me to work a little bit drier. There's some really nice sort of street fightery ones with all the back chopped in, and it looks awesome, but it needs to be practical-ish, you know, for what I want it for. Sort of two, maybe three things which are kind of right at the forefront. I think I do want to change the bar position, typical Johnny Cactus style, but yeah, they're just a little bit too upright and a little bit too narrow for me, really. I think I am just really used to the very kind of flat bar of the Bonneville, so that's why I've got two sets of these anyway, and these have been sitting in the cupboard. These are the other set of LSL street bar lows, which I intend to put on the DRZ. Now, there was a couple of issues I had with that. I didn't like the risers that I had with them before. They're a bit flimsy and a bit crap. That's why they're in the back of the parts box. So I did splash out on some 7/8 bar risers, because obviously they're fat bars, and they weren't overly expensive. I think they're about 20 quid delivered, so they will do the job quite nicely. They're going to go on, so I can put these bars on. Potentially I might have to move the ignition switch. I'll show you that in a minute and the reason why, although I haven't actually measured up the mounting points on this, so we'll see whether that's going to work or whether that's going to be something a little bit different. Ride height, it's a super motor really. It needs to stay fairly high. I think it's just me. Initially I was thinking about lowering it, not much, just a little bit, because I just feel so high up in the air, but it's a super moto and I'm getting used to it now, so I think that's going to stay. If I should see on eBay or something a set of dog bones to lower it for not much money, you know, I'm talking tenner, I might just try them out just to see, but it's no longer a kind of major issue, I don't think. A few more hours on the saddle and we'll see. And the only other thing I think of, I've been looking around, and there's a 3x3 mod seems to be quite popular, where you drill out a 3" by 3" kind of hole in the airbox. It does need rejetting once you've done that, just to get it all breathing a bit better. That does seem to be a popular mod, so that is potentially one I'm going to look into, but that's not a quick evening job one. I'd want a whole weekend for that one. Yeah, but there we go. So today anyway is handlebars, that's the main thing, and potentially an ignition relocation, so I'll take you across and we'll have a little look at what I mean. Okie doke then, so there we are looking at the fat bars, and they are, for me anyway, quite a high bar and a bit narrow. So that's the LSLs. Let's try and get these in a similar sort of position. So they're going to sit about there, marginally wider, I think. Or, yeah, tiny bit wider and lower, and I think I quite like those. Now, what I was on about with the ignition, that's the ignition switch there, and that's bolted on to the top of the riser. So let's have a look, see if the spacing's the same. Oh, they are. So I might be able to just chuck it back on there. If not, I was going to just re-drill the holes and relocate it. I might still relocate it for something different, but we shall see. So yeah, first things first, let's get the furniture off, and then we'll get the bars off. Okay, then, so most of the furniture off. I've just left that loose now because I'll pull that off when this bar comes off the clamp here. No point in disassembling all that if you don't need to. But before I slacken these off, the clamp bolts off, because we're changing the whole clamp, we're going to want to loosen off here, and this just holds it all in place, otherwise you'll turn that, and if it's just the clamp it's going to twist, isn't it? So right, pull them bad boys off. Right, so with everything slackened off, I'm just going to move the ignition switch out of the way, because yeah, we'll see when we put the other risers on, whether or not this is going to go back in the same position, or whether I'm thinking probably just drill a few holes in it and mount it behind the indicator clamp here, so it's up here on the side. Quite like that idea. It's plenty of kind of scope for repositioning, but we'll worry about that towards the end. So that just moves out the way. I'll stick you there for now, and right, pull all this in. So we got the stock clamp set up here, and they've got these little affairs, looks like that, they sit in on the top yoke, a bit like the 1-inch bars on the Triumphs, this kind of little cone affair. So we'll retain these bits and then pop these clamps on and get these on and see how that feels position wise. Okay, so the first little hurdle to get over is actually fitting the new clamps in through the kind of what we call bushing dampeners here. That's the stock one, but as you can see, the new clamps come with a girt bid mounting bolt, that's huge, which won't go through there and down there. So it's a case of, I could drill that out, see if I've got any larger kind of spacer bushes, metal ones, that would fit over these. I might have some from all the various different shocks I've had over the years. I save all the different sleeves, so that might be a possibility. Or I've taken the stock bolt out of those risers, and that does fit and lock in the bottom there just the same. That might be just as easy to do it that way. Yeah, potentially that will be easier to do it that way, because even if I've got the sleeves, I've still got to drill those out. So yeah, let's run with those and see how that feels. Right, change the plans as we go along. As you might be able to see, that's with the stock bolt going through, and there is not quite enough thread, because where these are drilled inside here, machined out for it to drop down, obviously it doesn't drop down as far as the other bar clamps, so there isn't enough length there for me to comfortably put that on. Oops, dropped a washer there. But so yeah, all I've done is put the stock one back in and just drilled out the tops of those riser bushes. I'm not worried. I mean, I have got a whole manner of sleeves. They're a bit short. Given the sheer girth of the shank of this bolt, I'm not too worried about that. So I am opting to go without. So right, I'll drill out those ones, and then minor little hiccup, but there we go. Okay, so the bars are on, handguards are back on now. I really like the position of these ones a lot more. Feels much more natural to me, more comfortable. So yeah, very happy with that. Now I could have fitted the ignition back up here. It would fit, but yeah, I just fancy doing something a bit different really. I'm actually going to, even though I'm left-handed, I'm going to relocate it to here where the other indicator bracket
goes, purely because the Bonneville's got it on the same side, so kind of muscle memory and all that. I've been leaning down the one side to turn the bike on when it's over there, so I'm going to pop it here. So I'm a few steps ahead. I've already taken the ignition switch out of the bracket, and so there were the existing holes there. So I've just measured out these two, drilled out those holes. I just need to cut the bracket to fit in the recess for the fork, so then that will fit neatly there, and have the ignition flush up here, and then kind of freeing up the bars a little bit. So right, I just need to cut that bit down and remount it all, I guess. There we go. So that's done and sorted, so hopefully that should fit in place. Well, better try and mount it up. There we go, that's it in position. So just put the old fly screen back on. There we go. All back together. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, very nice. Clean up the old bars a little bit more. But yeah, much happier with that setup. So yeah, give it a test ride tomorrow, I reckon. See how that compares to the other bars. Well, that's a bit shit. Just come all the way out, taken a little through the villages, cut through by the little chef to get to the BP garage that's got Marks and Sparks to get my favourite type of sandwich for work tomorrow, because I'm too lazy to go to the supermarket and they haven't got any. So I'm going to have to go elsewhere, but that gives us a chance to chat and round the video off. Hopefully you can hear me, and hopefully I'm not bouncing around too much, because I've just stuck the GoPro on the front of the fairing and just shoved the microphone in the front of the lid. It's my new full face lid. It's so weird wearing a full face. It's been ages since I have. This is the Spada Duo, something like that. It's like meant to be a dual sport. I bought it because it had the peak, but actually that was shit going to work. It kind of like catching the wind, so I've taken the peak off. You can remove the chin bit as well. It's got one of them little drop down visors for the winter, so very practical, I think. Very practical. But anyway, enough about that. Let's go on with the bike. Oh, by the way, this is a Kevlar hoodie as well. Anyway, yeah, the bike. Loving it. Whoops. Let's tighten you up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, so the bars are great. I've been riding to and from work for the past couple of days on them. Absolutely great. In terms of anything else I want to do with the bike at the moment, still haven't found any drop links that kind of make me, they're cheap enough just to have a go at lowering it. I think I'm getting used to it, but it's alright. But yeah, that's not a priority. I've ordered a K&M filter because this weekend I want to pull the carb apart and actually see what jets are in it. It's got the full Yoshi system on it. I don't even know if that needs, if they recommend that needs rejetting, but I'm very keen on doing this 3x3 airbox mod on it, which will involve rejetting. So I'm going to see what I'm currently got in there and just give me a starting point. Because of course I just don't know the history of what's been tinkered and done with this one. But I bought a better filter anyway, K&M filter. Better than the shitty foam one that's in there at the moment. What else is was I going to say? I might get some bigger handguards, I think, when the weather gets really crap, just to cover up the old hands, keep some of the wind chill off. And possibly some heated grips, I know, as well, we'll see though. But at the moment, you know, it's September, t-shirt and a Kevlar hoodie, out and about, lovely. But yeah, so that's kind of pretty much it with this video. I definitely want to go matte black with it as well. I think we definitely need to do some paint work. So there's lots of all sorts of stuff going through my head at the moment about what I'd like to change and do to it. But don't know, hopefully this is giving you a bit of an onboard footage ride. So I'll probably film this weekend pulling apart the carb and whatnot, seeing what we find. Yeah, that's been, I'm trying to think, yeah, handlebars and ignition, hasn't it, been this video, but and the little ride. But yeah, thanks for watching. And yeah, take it easy. And I shall see you next time.